right now on the warm-up, getting yourself going, getting that brain moving. It's only second period. Some of your brains haven't quite turned on yet. Hopefully now they have. We are going to randomly select you right now based on your calculator number. Do you remember your calculator number? If not, look in your agenda. That's where you should have written it. And we're going to randomly select, who's at the very end? Blaine, are you at the very end? What's your calculator number? 25. 25? Anybody past 25? No? All right, so we'll do from 1 to 25 here. And I'm just going to hit this once, and this person is going to tell me the answer to the first one. I got 16. Whose calculator number? 16. What'd you get? 6. Come on up. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do any work, but I am going to see, are you right? So what I want you to do, I want you to put the pen right on the lovely hippo and pull it over that blue circle, only the top blue circle, and put his mouth right over top of it. 6 is correct. Lovely. Have a seat. That's a quick way to check. Little neat, interesting thing. All right, let's pick somebody else. And our second person we're going to pick is number 8. Who's number 8? I'm guessing Cody. Cody, what did you get for the second one? You didn't copy it down yet. Okay. So we'll pick somebody else for the second one. 3. Who's number 3? What did you get from the second one? Say one more time. 21x minus 10x squared. Come on up. We're going to see if you're right. I think it's more fun if you get to play with the little thing. Pull his mouth right down over. That's exactly what I got. 21x minus 10x squared. Okay. You didn't get that?
No, I got 15x.
Well, did you remember to distribute negative 5 to the negative x? So it becomes a positive 5x. That's where a lot of people messed up on their quiz. Is that where you messed up?
I messed up on the first one, like the
4x plus 12x? Is that what you had? 4x plus 12x?
No, I combined my x times.
So you got 4x here
Yeah.
times 4x. And then you would add the 5x that's over here.
Oh, that's what I did. I forgot to distribute the 5x.
There you go. All right. So today what I want to do is actually work on solving equations. So you already have your spiral notebook out. That's kind of helpful. Right now go ahead and turn to your table of contents. And on line 3, you're going to write solving equations. Now you had essential work on this last night. But the problems I gave you on the essential work should have been very simple. Meaning they started with all whole numbers. There were no fractions in the original problem. There were no parentheses in the original problem. So now I'm going to show you what to do if there are. After you write the objective on line 3, go ahead and turn to page 3 and write the objective again.
What is
The test. Always write down there in the corner should help. Good question, huh? Now, for this first problem, I'm actually going to write out, here's what I'm going to do on every single step. That way, I can look back at it and see what I did. Now, on this problem, I have a couple different options. Raise your hand and tell me one option I could do. That. I could subtract a 9. I'm not going to start that way, though. Because there's something here that terrifies most students. There's a fraction. Oh no, a fraction, and then you automatically get terrified, right? Oh no, what do I do? So the very first thing I'm going to do is if I see a fraction, I'm going to multiply everything by the common denominator. And you can abbreviate that however you want. You don't have to write my statement word for word. But I don't want see a fraction, oh no, I want to get rid of it. I could have done what Zach said. I could have subtracted 9, and then I could have got rid of the fraction. But I decided to go this route. So if I do that, I'm going to put a 7 here, a 7 here, and a 7 here. And multiply, right? If I put a 7 here, what happens to this 7 and this 7? They cancel. So what am I left with right here? 3x. 7 times 9 is 63. 15 times 7. 15 times 7. I don't expect you to do it in your head. What? 135? Let's see if you're right. Oh, I actually put the work there first. Sorry. 105. 105. So, one thing to notice, once you have no fractions, you want to get the variables on one side and the numbers on the other side. So here's my lovely problem. Does that look familiar to like last night's assignment almost? Where all you had was nice, pretty whole numbers, right? So I'll give you a second to copy that down. And I'm assuming that once you get it to here, this part's simple, right? This is the easy part, solving it. That beginning part where you see a fraction, most of you go, oh no, I can't do this. But yes, you can. Now that I found x equals 14, what should I do? Should I just say, okay, I'm done, I got it? What's that key thing I probably should do on a quiz? Well, I can't simplify that any further. I would want to, if it was a fraction, Hemi, I agree, I would want to simplify. I want to check. I always want to check my answer. I always do. And I'm not asking you to do a lot of work with the check, but when you take a quiz in here, I want you to check your answers. I want you to know when you turn that quiz in, and you see here's 100% just like you know. Quick and easy, right? So I'm going to show you how I check this. What I do is I take the original equation and I plug in the number 14. I'm actually going to plug in 14 over 1 since that's a fraction. Plus 9 equals 15. 14 and 7. What can I do with that 14 and 7? I'm going to simplify the 14 and 7, mainly because I don't want to do 14 times 3. So if I simplify that, that becomes a 2, correct? So now watch this. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 9 is, say I'm right. I want to see a check when you're doing these problems. But your check does not have to be very long. Right there, I can tell you've gotten far enough to know that it's correct. You don't have to do anything further. Isn't that right? All right. Let's see our next slide here. Our next slide is something that you actually did on last night's essential work. But I like this one because there's no fraction. But what do I need to do first here? Get the variables on one side, and what else on the other side then? The other number. I need to get the variables on one side, just like you said. Look, we're in sync here, aren't we? Already thinking alike. Just to get the variables on one side. So I'd like you to go ahead and do that for me, right on your paper. Get those variables on one side, get the numbers on the other. So you're working on getting those variables on one side, the numbers on the other. Here's a question. Raise your hand if you got the variables on the left side of the equation. You put the ends on the left. All right, put your hands down. Raise your hand if you put the variables on the right side. Wait. Hold on. half of you said left, half of you said right, so half must be wrong, right? No, it doesn't matter. I decided that I was going to move my variables to the left side and my numbers to the right. Now, if you decide to move your variables to the right side and your numbers to the left, you should have a positive 2n and a positive 20 then. The exact opposite of what I have here, right? Okay. I need to do one more thing next. What is that? Raise your hand and tell me that. Colton. Must simplify, yes. But I need to get that n by itself. So what do I need to do? Divide. So I'm actually going to divide that, just like Colton said. And if I divide, I'm going to divide by negative 2 in my case, but half the class here will be dividing by 2, so I get n equals 10. So I'm done, right? No, why? I've got to check it, so go ahead and check your answer. You must check your answer. If you've been to Mrs. Kilcoyne's room, she actually has a lovely poster that says no work, no check, no credit. She put that all in there so that she can get every student to check their answer. So we are checking n equals 10. Anybody know where I check at? Always in the original equation. I'm not going to check at this line here. I'm not going to check down here. I'm going to check the whole way back up here. So, if I do that, I'm just going to plug in my number. That's all I'm doing. And 5 times 10 is 60 plus 11. I'm sorry, 5 times 10 is 50 plus 11, 61. 7 times 10 is 70 minus 9 is 61. Notice once again, was there a whole lot to the check? No. I'm not asking you to make a one-page summary. 3 lines, maybe, math, maybe. But that's all you really need to check. And then you can easily hand me a paper and say, I'm 100% correct. Now, I know your essential work, I've given you the answers, right? I still want to see a check on those. Because when you take the quiz on Friday, which will be our next quiz day, you have to show a check. So now let's do one with parentheses. Oh no. Parentheses. So if there are parentheses, what's the first thing I need to do? Distribute. I need to get rid of the parentheses. That's the first thing. I don't want to add anything. I don't want to subtract anything. I want to get rid of those parentheses. So go ahead and do that right now. And if you end up saying, okay, I need to look back at this, if you're watching this on YouTube, that will actually help quite a bit. So you can actually see, here's what I am doing. You can see the words right there. So most of you are distributing. So right there's what I got. Now remember, to distribute, that means I'm taking 4 times 3x, 4 times negative 5. Over here I'm taking negative 2 times negative x. That's how I got the positive 2x. Negative 2 times 8, which is negative 16. Okay, if there's a negative sign there or a minus sign, it goes with that distributive property. All right. What could I do next? Combine like terms. I always like to look at it this way. If I look here at the left side, can I simplify anything down? Can I simplify 12x minus 20 at all? No. How about on the right side? Can I simplify anything there? Are there anything there like terms? Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to simplify the left side, simplify the right side, or, I like what you said there, combine like terms. Look how quick that was to write down if you're just writing combined like terms. So what is 2x minus 6x? Negative 4x. There we go. So 2x minus 6x becomes negative 4x. And now I could actually look back at the last problem we did because it looks almost identical, doesn't it? Go ahead and finish solving it from this point. So you've been working on solving this. So you don't have to copy this part down. Why not? Why would I not have to recopy that? Why would I not have to recopy that? You already have that right on the last problem, right? So you should already know, get the variables on one side and the numbers on the other. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to put my variables on the left side, my numbers on the right side. From there I'm going to divide. Show the division, because if you don't, a lot of students mess up. Okay? That's exactly what I'm telling you there. So if I divide by 16, 4 over 16 becomes 1/4. A lot of students flip that and get 4 over 1, which is 4. And that won't work. So now I need to plug in 1/4 and see if it works, right? Now, what's 1/4 as a decimal? 0.25. So if I'm checking this, do I have to do a check by hand? No. And in fact, I'm actually going to let you use something on this next quiz. Just back there we haven't got to touch yet, which are the calculators. So in this problem, I'm just going to type in my calculator, 4 parentheses, 3 times 0.25 minus 5, and so on.
If you've done 1/4
1/4 of, you mean right here?
yeah.
Well, what if I made a mistake in this line? And then 1/4 works there, but not here.
Alright.
So I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to check it. Using my handy dandy calculator, hopefully I can make this a little smaller for us. Nope, wrong way. Alright. So I'm using 0.25, right? So I'm going to type in my calculator, 4 parentheses, 3 times 0.25 minus 5. Okay, so I've got negative 17 on the left side. You guys agree? You agree with what I typed in the calculator? Okay, so now I'm going to try typing in the right side. I'm going to move this over maybe. Yes, right there, that's perfect. So, negative 2, parentheses, negative 0.25, plus 8, minus 6 times 0.25. Notice that I just typed in the left side, and instead of writing the letter X, I typed in 0.25. I typed in the right side, and instead of typing X, I typed 0.25. And hopefully, if I hit enter this time, I get negative 17 again. Does negative 17 equal negative 17? Yeah. So, if my answer is a fraction, that's a lot harder for me to check. Especially if I put 1/4 in here, 1/4 of 3, could you do that in your head? You probably could, 3/4, but then you have to subtract 5 from that. Now we're starting to get into some mixed numbers, right? That makes it harder and harder. So here I'm going to allow you to use the calculator to work with that. So now let's just go really hard here. Let's work with parentheses and fractions together. We have to know which one do I get rid of first, how do I deal with it? So when you see both fractions and parentheses, which one do you think I want to get rid of first? That. Actually, no. I want to get rid of the parentheses first. Good guess, though. Okay? So the very first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of parentheses. That takes precedence. Meaning you have to do it first, no matter what. So I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. So we have to be able to multiply this. 1/3 times x is 1/3 x. All right, 1/3 times 3/4. What do I do with those three? They cancel out, so what am I left with then? If these cancel out, I'm left with 1/4. Was that difficult to do? Okay. Multiplying fractions is easy. Adding and subtracting may be a little bit more difficult, but we'll work on that this year. But multiplying fractions should be easy. Now I decided to actually multiply straight across. 1 times 3 is, and 3 times 4 is. So if you did not see that the 3's cancel out, that's okay still. Still simple, right? All right. So according to my fraction problem, the very first one I did, what do I need to do next? What? Not combine like terms, because I don't have anything like terms yet. Find a common denominator. So look at my denominators, 3, 12, and 6. 3, 12, and 6. What is the common one? 12. You guys see that 12 is the common denominator? So I'm going to multiply this by 12, this by 12, this by 12, and this by 12. So 4 items. So I'm going to multiply by a common denominator, which is 12. So when I do that here, 12 divided by 3 becomes 4x. 12 divided by 12 just cancels, so I'm left with the 3. Hemi? No, what I actually do, Hemi, is I take this 12 and this 3 right here and I cancel them out and make that a 4. Now I could have done 12 times 1, which is 12, and then divided that by 3. So there's a couple options there, but what I find the easiest is to cancel them out to get the number I'm looking for. Now here, is there anything to cancel out? So it's just 12x. No, that's when you're adding or subtracting fractions that you have to have that common denominator. So here, all I'm doing is canceling things out and making them a little simpler. Okay, go ahead and finish solving the problem at this point. Once I get rid of the fractions, isn't that an easy problem? So I don't want anybody in here to be afraid of fractions. First thing you do is when you see a fraction, oh no, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Everybody can work with fractions. So I'm just going to pull up what I would do next, which is get the variables on one side, the numbers on the other. Again, you don't have to copy that down because you've written it already. This is the third time you've seen that lovely phrase. So I get all my x's on one side, my numbers on the other. Oh, and here's where it gets ugly. I now need to divide, right? I now need to divide. So if I do that, I get 5/8. Now if I have 5/8, I still need to check. Now how would I check stuff? I plug it in for x using the calculator. That's your easiest thing. So we're not going to show that here today. Okay, but you guys can use the calculators to check. I am fine with that. And I actually wrote it all here. Here's exactly what I would type in the calculator. 1/3, parentheses, parentheses, 5/8 plus 3/4, parentheses, 5/8 minus 1/6. That makes sense? That's what I would type in the calculator and solve both sides are equal. If I do that, that actually helps me to practice that calculator stuff. Any questions on this problem? Okay. Here's your essential work. Now, as you're working on it, what have I given you to help you out? Okay. I've given you the answers for the entire week. I also want to let you know something real quick. Your first chapter test. Your first chapter test is next Friday. Now, you have a lot of essential work that goes with the chapter test. If you want what it is now, so you can just start on it during a study hall or something? No? You want to know tomorrow? Okay, we'll wait till tomorrow. He wants to know now, though, it looks like. She says, yes, I want to know now. So how would I just tell you now? Okay? Page 61, 1 through 34 all. You'll have one day in class to work on that, but that's it. But I'm giving it to you now, and it's not due for another week and a half. So a long time. So if you get this done before class is over, well then you have something to work on. Or if you're in study hall, you can work for 10 minutes and get a lot of those problems done. That's due for the chapter test next Friday.